Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever you are, guys. I hope you're having a really, really good weekend. It's stream time again. It's been a week already, and I'm back. I need to do more streams. I really wish I had more time in the day to do more streams. Let's see who got first today. Kodo's got first today, saying, hope you have a good one. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. Anarchy is here as well, saying, evening, Jay. I hope you had a relaxing weekend. You truly earned it after the amount of orders you shipped during the week. It was all Mel as well. But thank you, Anarchy. I really appreciate it. And thank you for coming to visit us on Friday as well. It was really, really nice to have you round. Something is finished printing for you as well, so I will try and endeavour to get that in the post. And you might see that I'm printing one myself that I just started going a few minutes ago as well. Kodos says Gatex. Yeah, Lubed Gatex is this time. I haven't tried them in a board yet, so I'm reserving judgment, but I'm pretty excited by them. Pretty excited. Thank you very much, Will. Thank you so much for the subscription, man. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much, dude. 5 months. Wow. It's crazy. Crazy times. EJZX says, hey, man, what's good, dude? I'm good. I hope you are too. DM Box TV says, what's up? Hey, man. Glad to have you here. I'm Bachil says evening. Hey man, thank you very much for being here. It is evening here. It's 5 past 8. I was gonna say it's 2000 hours, but it's 8 p.m. or just gone. JQ27 with 2 Santas. Thank you very much for that, man. I appreciate that. Static Age is here too. He says good day. I hope everyone is doing well. Thanks, man. Yeah, I'm doing really good. It's been a nice Sunday. Gan TW says, hope you have a nice stream today. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. Thank you. Okay, we've also got D&D Moon here, Zizora, Rob27. What? Rob, that's a blast from the past. I remember you from Top Clack days, saying, what's up, everyone? Thanks very much for being here, man. Thank you. Static Age says, it sounds like Mel is a superstar. She is. I appreciate her immensely. Thank you so much to Mel if she sees this for all the work she did last week during the workshop. She knows I appreciate it. I show her in other ways, but yeah. Miburko12 says, hey Jay, excited to see the Timberwolf and hear what you think of the GATXs. Yeah, so we talked about the GATXs last week in their stock format, and this week I've now lubed them up. Now, last week I think you can remember I said that Gateron X switches, in my opinion, appear to be a modder's dream, and well, I have modded some switches, so we will see how that goes today. JQ27, thank you so much for the subs as well. 4 months of subs. Thank you very much, man. I really appreciate that. I really appreciate that. Alaric says, Gateron X versus CJs. We kind of covered that last week, but I'll briefly touch on it during this stream as well. Yeah, we'll talk about it today. Storesness is here as well. He says, good evening. Zizora says, wait, you looped them or did Pokemon Kid? I looped these ones. I did these ones during the F1 today. Inks dethroned? We'll see. I have to try them in a board first. But yeah, I'm pretty interested in them. I do have some stock ones from last week to one side, just so that we can test them against each other, but as well as Gateron CJ switches. But I'm pretty excited for these. I also ordered a ton of Milky Pro yellows while the molds are still fresh. I don't blame you, man. Don't blame you. Get those switches now. Yeah. Hey Tidal, thanks for joining, man. I appreciate you being here. Thank you so much. So yeah, so lots to go through today, but we're going to be building a Timberwolf. I had planned on building my TKL from the Pokemon kit that he designed, which is the Ace of Spades, but unfortunately he has a part that I need for my board, and I didn't realize, and I thought I had all the parts. He messaged me about an hour before the stream and said, you're going to need to rethink that build, dude. You're going to need to rethink it. So I'm now building the Timberwolf, which was the very next board I got to in my to build pile underneath the Ace of Spades. So it wasn't planned, but that's what we're going to go with. So we're going to be building a Timberwolf today. Just want to say a big shout out to everyone who's waited and supported the store this past week. I know we've been inundated with orders. As of Friday at 12 noon, we had caught up with all outstanding orders to that point. We've just got Friday afternoon orders to ship on Monday. So everything has been shipped, apart from 2 or 3 little problem orders where things have happened or whatever. So we got through thousands and thousands and thousands of items packaged last week. It was kind of crazy, but all of the sale, when we did the 20% off sale just over a week ago, they're all shipped. All of the Icky Auroras, they're all shipped. All of the JO1s, they're all shipped. And next weekend, I'm really excited because we're going to have the Victory auction for the 2 or 3 remaining limited edition JO ones. I think there's 3 A stock ones from memory. I'll have to double check. And there's a couple of B stock ones. So we're going to have a Victory auction for those. And hopefully the prices won't go too high. So yeah. The Timberwolf is such a wild ass board. This should be great. I'm really excited for it. I didn't buy it in the group buy. I actually bought it as extras, and I've been wanting one ever since we saw the interest check on Top Clack, like 2018, I think it was, something like that. Diva Tex is here as well. He says, hi Jay, hey man, good to see you. Title says rotary or no rotary. You'll see in a minute. I've got an interesting layout, so we'll see. Zizora says, inundated with orders. GMK says 1 million key sets will be ready for Q4 2022. Yeah. I'll tease you, baby. I'll tease you. There is a lot of key sets expected to ship in Q4 2022. Mel and I will be rushed off our feet at that point. It's a year away, but I know we will be rushed off our feet at that point. And I'm kind of planning and building towards that now with the business. So as long as business stays as it is or grows, then we'll be fine at that point. I have a plan in place. Do I know if the Gateron X switch base is likely to be used in more switches? As far as I know, it's unlikely to be unless it's used by the same people who designed the Gateron X. They may bring it back for other switches. As far as I know, they own the mold for that particular base. I could be wrong on that, but that's my understanding. So yeah, so we're all caught up now. The workshop is an absolute mess. It's just terrible. So Monday morning, the first couple of hours are just going to be tidying up everywhere. The whole floor needs sweeping, vacuuming and mopping all the way through. There's loads of boxes that need throwing out. There's a whole probably 2 or 3 hours worth of work just to get the workshop feasible again, because we've been so busy we haven't been able to clean as we go, which is a big thing that we try and do here. So that's the first plan for tomorrow. So Mel and I are going to get an early start on that and try and clean it up. So watch out for the Insta stories tomorrow, because there's a load of stories on Insta right now, because I did an AMA on that, Ask Me Anything. So yeah, it's going to be really interesting. It's going to be a busy week. I think we've got 6 group buys shipping out on Monday, Tuesday. Matsuzuka desk mats, the Waves water resistant desk mats, the Seihaga wave type things. We've got GMK Mecha 01 shipping out on Monday. The remainder of DCS Delphi, because the Ramas and the desk mats have come in, so that's all going to ship out on Monday as well. The banana splits are going to ship out on Monday, and there's some of the desk mats that turned up that I haven't opened yet as well. So they're all going to ship out on Monday. So it's Monday or Tuesday. So I think the 6 group buy is going to ship out on Monday, which is really exciting. So yeah, it's been good. It's been busy, but we're getting there slowly. You're not expecting any GMK sets for 24 months? I mean, GMK is shipping 10 to 12 sets out of their warehouse every month, right? Like GMK Mecha 1 has shipped this month, but there's about 9 or 10 other sets that have shipped within the past 4 weeks as well. So GMK is shipping a lot. It's just that we're ordering more and more and more from them, so it's a struggle to catch up. If they're shipping 10 a month, but we're selling 15 a month across all of the vendors, well, it's going to take a while, right? Benza Kane, thank you so much for the follow. Possibly Fruit as well. Thank you so much, guys. I appreciate that. Banana splits will be in stock this week as well, yes. Yeah, so the banana split group buy will ship Monday or Tuesday, and then the in-stock switches should be in stock by Friday, I think. That's the plan. GMK Redacted should ship from GMK next week. Yeah, I ordered that one, so I'm excited to see it come in. I'm a big fan of UV pad printing from GMK, so I'm excited to see how that comes in and how it looks. But yeah, gotta love a basic plain set. Gotta keep those coming. Cool. Okay, right. Let's flip over to the camera and I'll show you the board we're going to build today. So Ty, this is where you're going to see what we're building today. First off, we have a PCB. For those of you that don't know, the Timberwolf is a PCB mount board, and it does have some little flex cuts in places as well. So I'll be interested to see how this feels. I do have some other PCB mount boards, so we'll see how it goes. But there's some really interesting flex cuts on here. So first of all, these are more acoustic cuts than flex cuts here. But the spacebar is cut away on 3 sides. So I feel like that is going to have some flex to it. Like, you can see there that I can push that out. I don't want to break it, but that's kind of interesting. As I say, it's PCB mount, so it's kind of like a PCB top mount. So you screw the PCB up directly into the top case. It's pretty cool. It's a pretty cool PCB. Switches, as you guys already know, we are using Gateron X switches. Now I have modified these heavily. I believed when I tested them last week that these were going to favor a lot of modification. So these are Gateron X switches, Lubed 205 grade 2 on the slider and stem rails and the top housing. They have been spring swapped to Kinetic Labs slow springs, symmetrical springs, 69 gram symmetrical springs. That's what we swapped them to. So yeah, I'm pretty interested to see how these are going to go. The springs have been lubed with Krytox 105. So we'll see how that works out. So there we go. Excited to get through those. So there's 110 done here. I think there's actually 109 because I lost one. With the polish rails, did you use less lube than normal? Do you know what? I didn't. I used the same amount of lube as I would use on any other linear. I'll be honest, these feel super smooth now. Now I've done this, they feel as smooth as the stock Gateron CJ switches. So that's kind of where we're at. It's kind of where we're at. Looks like Get Milky Yellows. It does, but these have a little thing that's a little bit different to them. They actually have an X, which is really difficult to show you. In the center pole on the base, just here, there is an X in there. You should just be able to see it there now. And the difference between these and the standard Get Milky Yellows is that they're actually polished as well. So the stems and the rails on these are polished. So that's not common in switches. There's only 2 switches that I know that have polished parts from the manufacturer, and this is one of them. The standard Get Yellows don't have that. So there we go. Thrax, hey man, good to see you. I'm good, man. I hope you're doing well too. Is this your first time using double stage switches in springs in a switch? Yes, it is. It's the first time I've built with these springs, if I can get my words out. Threx, thank you so much for the sub, man. I thoroughly appreciate that. Thank you so much, dude. Thank you. Nice cheeky 4 months. The sound profile should be better, yeah. So we need to test these out. So we tested them out last week on stream in the stock format, and now we're going to test out what the lube ones sound like. And I feel like these are going to be pretty good. Like, I could tell from using them before that they were going to be a solid switch if you did put some work into them, and I think that these are going to be a modder's dream. I think if you're buying a switch and you're looking to be modding it by lubing or otherwise, this might be the switch for pretty much everyone. So yeah. That's where I've got to. Appreciate the late night hustle. Yeah, we've packed switches well into 1 AM this past week. So most days we started at 7 or 8, and we worked right through until we couldn't work anymore. So that might have been 10, 11, 12, 1. It really depended. But yeah, it doesn't surprise me that you got the notification at midnight. That happens quite a lot. Hammer brother, thank you so much for being here. Oh wow, Timberwolf, haven't seen one of these on stream. I don't know if anyone streamed one before. I assume they have, but I have mine here. I'll show you guys it shortly, and we'll go from there. I'm sure you could use the bottom housing for a modded tactile switch confrontation. I don't really like tactiles too much, so I am very much a linear person. So I haven't tried that yet, but I'm sure you could do. Kay Kurtzon and Logan Cole, thank you so much for the follows, guys. I really appreciate that. Jay Hustling, get that money, bud. I don't make anything from prototypes. I don't pay myself a salary. I don't take any money out of the company. It's all for customers. That's literally the only reason we're here, is to support customers. But yeah, we work as many hours a day as we need to get the orders out. Like, I think we've had more orders this week than we had in our entire first 6 months of being in business, which kind of shows you the level we're at right now. And just how many orders we're taking. So 1 week now is the equivalent of 6 months at the start of the business. So yeah, I haven't tried them filmed, and I haven't filmed these. I wanted to try them just lubed first. If I really enjoyed these lubed, I will film them for the next time I use them in a build. So there we go. Is this a personal or a client build? I very rarely build client boards. 90% of the boards I build are my own. I build maybe 5 or 10 customer boards a year, and I stream every single week. So 90% of the boards I build every year that you see on stream are mine, and 99% of the boards I build every year are actually mine. So yeah, I've built quite a lot of keyboards in my time, and I own quite a lot of keyboards as well. Thank you very much to Anarchy for carrying them all through for me the other day as well. I really appreciate that. Are we getting the frog this year, or is it a project for next year? The frog depends on Geon. That's all down to Geon. They are, I believe they are the same spring as a Gateron yellow, yes, but the switches are very different. Andromeda, hey man, good to see you. A friend of mine told me he had issues with lube not applying to the stems. Did you have any issues like that? No, I didn't have any issues at all with it. When is my 12-hour stream? I don't have a set date yet, but I am going to run a 12-hour stream where I just build nothing but Matrix Labs keyboards. So Matrix Labs, one of my favorite keyboard designers in the hobby. I love Albert's designs. I think they're fantastic. And I am going to do a... I'm not going to call it a subathon, but it's that kind of stream, and it's going to be at least 12 hours long, and I'm just going to build Matrix keyboards. I think I've got around 15 in my collection, so it's going to be a really easy content stream. That's the way to do it. I love your Sunday streams, very relaxing. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. I'm really tired this week, so I apologize if I'm stuttering or stumbling over my words or anything like that. It's been a hugely long week, so I really apologize if I'm a little bit more... I just threw that switch on the floor. If I'm a little bit more slower than usual, which I'm pretty slow anyway, but you get the point. You get the point. Right, let me show you the... Oh, Anarchy says, need to get the pile sorted out first. The Matrix boards are in the cupboard. Oh no. Oh no. So we have a cupboard that you can't see that's just the opposite side of the mirror. And Anarchy put a load of boards in there first and then started stacking them on the floor. And there's a huge pile. Like, there's a big pile. Yeah, we'll get there. Need to drink more coffee. I don't actually have any coffee today because we have no milk at the workshop. So I'll fix that on the way in the morning. I do have a Coke because I need the energy, and I also have a big glass of water as well. So there you go. I'm looking after myself, but no coffee today. No coffee today, I'm afraid. Right, okay. Let's show you the rest of the board. So we took switches, Lubed Gateron X switches with 69-gram symmetrical springs, and here's the board. This is the Timberwolf. It does come with a lot of stuff. We'll have a look at that in a second. So here you go. You see I've got an interesting layout. We have a knob on the top left. We have kind of an open cluster here where we can put some vertical 2U keys, which we will do. Other than that, it's kind of a 75%, I guess, with an XT column on this side. I do love some macro columns. The colour's great, right? The colour's really good. Side profile, kind of interesting. The wedge is just basically a wedge that slopes away. So this does slope down, you'll see in a second. The seam is kind of hidden underneath another chamfer, which blends into the wedge, which is kind of nice. I don't dislike that. Trying to show you guys up close a little bit. There you go, you see. I noticed the machining's not the best on this case. I don't know who manufactured it, but on this seam here, it's difficult to show you. On this seam here, there's a few things. The corner rounding here is terrible. On the bottom piece, the corner rounding is terrible. And this line here isn't straight as well. It's actually kind of wavy on the top piece. It's really difficult to see, but it is there. Looking at the base, really plain. Anodization is pretty good though. It's not streaky or wavy as far as I can see. Nice big cutouts for the feet. There is B-stock because it does have a scratch on it. Can't really see it. There you go. There is a scratch just here. So it is B-stock. There's another one just there. That makes it a B-stock board, but small scratches. They're all at the back. It's actually quite long as a scratch. It's difficult to show you, but it does go the full length of this line here. There, you see? Centralized USB-C. The USB-C cutout could have been neater. It's actually done as a U shape with some really sharp corners at the top and really rounded corners at the bottom. That could have been tidied up a little bit. That could be done much nicer. But it does have a daughter board, as you can see. And it also has a piece just in here, which we'll see what that's for shortly. I think it's to get into the daughter board a little bit better, but we'll see. We shall see. 75% plus? Yeah, kind of, yeah. It's a lovely colour, right? I love the colour. The Duck Viper, the TCV3 had my attention. The Duck Viper and the TCV3 are two different boards. I have both of them, but yeah. Was this B-stock? This is B-stock, yes. If I open up JO1 commissions again, can I get it in this colour? Maybe. Early New Year, I think, for commissions coming back. But yeah, it's definitely B-stock. Right, let's take the case open and see what we're working with on the inside. I think if it had been me, I'd have probably called this one C stock, not B stock. Screw on the floor now. Told you I was having a nightmare of a day. Hopefully there's some spare ones in the bags. We'll go through the little bag of stuff as well and take a look and see what's in there. I did buy it a few weeks ago, yes, during the extras they had up, yeah. Well, this was sold as B stock, but to me, I think if I was selling this, I'd classify it as C stock. But I probably wouldn't sell C stock boards. Like if something was C stock, I probably just wouldn't sell it. I'd probably have it recoated or something and then sell it. But it was sold to me as a B stock board, or at least I paid the B stock price for it. The C in C stock stands for Cerakote. That's fair. That's fair. Okay. So I've taken it apart. There's a lot of marks on the inside. You can see how it mounts though. So these are the mounting points. There's kind of like a it's like a burger mount, really. Burger top mount, but PCB mount. PCB top mount. Burger PCB top mount, I think is the way I'd probably describe it. There is quite a few scuffs and scratches on the inside, as well as on these edges. There's kind of like a few chunks taken out. So it's really difficult to show you. But just on this edge here, I'm getting the light, just on this edge here, just right above my finger, there's like a little divot. They're quite common all the way around the edges. It's definitely a C stock board, but the colour's lovely. Some quite deep scratches just here. Hey Taketo Keys, hey man, how are you doing? Hope you're doing well. Yeah, so it's definitely in my head this is C stock, not B stock, but it is what it is. Daughter board there. I'm not quite sure what this bit's for. There's like a design on it. Is that like just supposed to be like a badge? And that's just the only part of the design on it. I'm not sure what this is for. But it seems like it's just a badge. Okay, it doesn't want to come out. Okay, it is just a badge. It's actually brass. This is actually a chunk of brass. Now it's too small for me to call this a weight, but you can see on the inside it's definitely brass. It's yellow in there. It's definitely brass. It's pretty chunky. I'm not quite sure what the design's supposed to be on there, but there is like a design on the top. I'm not quite sure what it's supposed to be. I wouldn't really call it a weight, but it's fine, I guess. You win some, you lose some. If the board works and feels good in the end, I'll call it a win. Yeah, I think that's a fair comment. Okay, one thing I have noticed is the daughter board's actually soldered together. So difficult to show you, but the cable's actually soldered in. It's not like a JST on both sides. So it's kind of interesting. So this doesn't use a standard replaceable daughter board. It's not the standard daughter board that everyone else uses. This isn't the unified one. So if this ever breaks, the board's dead. So yeah. Much purple, right? How many boards in total do I own? About 350, I think, but I don't have an accurate count. What was this board that looked like it could have some clearance issues with the PCB and the board? The PCB and the plate. There is no plate for this board. So, Andromeda, there is no plate for this board. This is completely PCB mount. The PCB mounts to these sockets here. And that's why the top case is so thick here. Because there's no plate. There's no plate. Time for a dram and cubes. I wish I could have a dram while I'm streaming still, but because I'd stream up at the workshop and I have to drive home, it'd be a bit dodgy if I did. Right, let's take a look in the packet here. Yeah, about 350 keyboards, yeah. 350. Give or take a few. I don't have an accurate count, but it's somewhere in that kind of position. Okay, so in the first one, I think this is a, yep, it's a rotary encoder and a spare. So there we go. Keep that to one side. Even if it was fully autopilot, I don't think I could legally get away with letting it drive itself. Not here in the UK, at least. There is a screwdriver. Oh no, it's a stabilizer wire. Oh, so this is good. So there's a stabilizer wire included because this takes a 6U spacebar if I remember correctly. I was wondering about that. So it's relatively straight. That's good. We'll keep that to one side. Lots of screws, feet, and everything else. We'll use those to mount the PCB. I'm going to pop the feet on now. It's done. Anarchy asking if the imprint in the top left, just here, can you see that? This imprint here, it's like it's a small pocket, maybe 2mm deep. That is for the rotary encoder. The pins on the base of the rotary encoder are quite long. They'll stick through the PCB, so that's roughly where it goes. Okay. Must be because of the flex of the PCB, yeah. Hope keyset you're planning has 6U. Yeah. If we can build it 6.25U, I will do. I'm not sure if any of the key sets I've selected actually do have 6U. We'll worry about that bridge when we get to it. Stop being so negative, Zizora. Stop ruining the stream. Stop making me concerned. We'll be fine. What's my preferred mount style? If I had to pick, I'd pick like an isolation mount, but I have keyboards in pretty much all mounts that I like and enjoy. So I think top mount is underutilized these days, and I'm excited to see top mount boards come back. You're a realist. Oh, stop it. How many keycap sets do I own? A lot. I don't know. A few hundred. Let's go with that. Let's just guess. A couple of hundred. I don't know if I've got more key sets and more boards, actually. I don't know which it has. Anarchy probably has more of an idea than I do for most of it, because whatever's at the workshop he carried. Can confirm a lot. I don't have an accurate number. If I did, I'd tell you. I'm saying hope is there is. You're the negative one. No, you're ruining the stream. We have a black knob, because who doesn't love a nice black knob? This will go on the rotary encoder. Just plain black. Slightly needs a good polish. Slightly grubby. We can clean that up though. Have you bought the spacebar set for Susuwatari? It has 6U and matches the color. I don't think Susuwatari goes with this for a start, but I don't know if I bought the Susuwatari spacebars. I couldn't accurately confirm that right at this moment. Okay. So now we've Now we've checked out the board, I'm going to put it semi back together. And the next thing we're going to do is build the board. So let's take a look at our spacebar options here, because this is the thing I'm really worried about. Looks like there's two different sizes we can use, either 6U or 6.25U. So just from a compatibility perspective, it's going to be a 6.25U spacebar. There we go. Right. So we know we're going with a 6.25U spacebar. Let's get the stabilizers out for that. We know we're going with ISO enter. So we need a stabilizer for ISO enter. Okay, we know we're going full backspace because I don't like split backspace. It confuses the hell out of me. So we can get a stabilizer for that. Okay. We don't need one for ANSI enter because we're using ISO. I think we'll split right shift just to have an FN key there. I think I'm going to prefer that. On the right side, let's see what we can do here on the right side. So on the right side, I think that we can have a vertical 2U and I'm not actually sure what we can do here. I think we can have a vertical 2U here. And I think we can have a vertical 2U here. So let's go with that. Let's go with two vertical 2U keys. And if we can't, we'll just change it when we get to that point. So we need two more stabilizers. If I knew how to do captions 3, I would do captions. I don't know how to do it. But I haven't looked, to be fair, either. I have not looked. I should look, but I haven't. Right. So we'll leave the screws out. Okay. Let's lube these stabilizers and then get them in the board. I love making streams up as we go along. I love just making it up what we're building as we go along. So much fun this way. Devatex has posted the KLE for the board. Let's just see what we're doing. It's a super interesting layout. It's a super weird layout. Like, let's be honest, it's not interesting. It's weird. Okay. So I think we can do option 2. So I think we're going to do option 2 for this area. That's what we're going to go with. Option 2. Oh no, it's not option 2. No, it's not option 2. It's option 7. It's option 7. Yeah, we're going to go with option 7. So if you look at the link that Demotex pasted, we're going to look like we're going to have to go with option 7. It seems you have to build it with a 6U spacebar. I don't think so. I don't think so. If you look at the secondary bottom row for the spacebar on that second link you posted, there's a 6.25U option for that bottom row. So we can go 1.25, 1.25, 1.25, 6.25, 1.5, 1, 1.5. Right? Interesting is just the polite way to say it. Right, let's I don't 6U's a real I don't want to do 6U. Let's figure this out. Let's figure this out. Let's figure this out. This board is already causing me issues. Right. So let's check this. 1.25 1.25. 1.25. 6.25. We have to put a switch here. There has to be one there. And that's where the stabilizer goes. And then we've got the arrows. Let's figure this out. Let's figure this out. There. Okay. So, what does that leave us? Oh, so the arrows move over one, look. Okay, even better. Even better. Man, this PCB is messing with my head a little bit. Okay. So we can do that, and then we can go with a 1.5. We can do that, right? That works. Bigger. Right, I'm pretty sure this works. Right, that's the bottom row. That works. We can get keycaps on that, and that's using the 6.25U spacebar. So that's how we're going to build it for the bottom row. That's what we're going to build. You test it with caps personally. Like, there's... Okay. Right, so I think what we've got is we've got one U, and then we've got 1.5U. And then we've got, what's 1.25? Then we've got 1.5. I know the caps are the wrong profile, but that looks like it works to me. Because that's what we're worried about here, right? And then we've got 1.25. A 1.25. I think I've got that switch in the wrong place. There we go. A 1.25. And then we just need a 6.25 in spacebar. Oh, I have a 6U spacebar in this key set. But hey, I want it to be 6.25U. That's a 7U spacebar right here. That's a 7U spacebar as well. Okay, this is a 6.25U spacebar. Right, so it doesn't support 7U at all. Right, I know I just flicked the switches out, but does everyone agree that this layout works? That it's physically possible to put that layout on the board? Does that look like it works? Thanks, you hate it? Love it. As long as you hate it, that's my intention secured. It works. Right? It works. It works. It's kind of cursed, but it works. Right. It doesn't matter if it's cursed. The whole board is cursed. Look at the rest of the layout. Look at the rest of the layout, right? The whole board is cursed. All we needed to do was prove that there's a bottom row in there, and there is. It's 1.25. Oh shit, I'm putting it wrong. Wrong tab. 1.25, 1.25, 1.25, 6.25, 1.5, 1, 1.5. Half ANSI, half Sangan. Right? It's fine. It's fine. It works. It works. It physically works. That's all we needed it to do. We just needed it to actually work, and it does. So that's all we needed to worry about. Right, now we've figured that out. Let's loop these stabilizers. It makes the 2 bottom row options. Yeah, like as long as it physically works. A man spent too long thinking if he could, not thinking if she should. Where do you get X? There's going to be vendors all around the world for them. Canon Keys in the US, myself for the UK, a few other places as well. I have them listed on my site. Designer was high, I think. Yeah, is this a Jimmy Roland keyboard? Do you guys remember Jimmy? Jimmy was great. I love Jimmy. Glass stems. TBC, I think. It depends on how these sell, Hammer Brother. But you can always spring swap. I've spring swapped these to 69-gram springs. Okay, right. I think we're just about there. Let's get the spacebar done first, and then we're committed. Once the 6.25U spacebar's in play, we're then committed to that layout. We cannot change it then. It's going to be cursed, but it's going to work, and that's all that matters. If it works, it's not stupid. It's only stupid if it doesn't work. So I've sold springs in the past, and they didn't sell particularly well, so I stopped. But if I like these Kinetic Lab springs, I'm probably going to stock these if I can. If I can find a way to stock them, I will. They feel pretty nice in the hand, but if they feel good in keyboard as well, I like to stock products that I like. I feel like I can do something more just if I like it when I sell it, if that makes sense. By weight, yeah, we weigh them. It's like a pieces counter on the calculator, as they're in the scales, so it knows how many pieces you put into the tub, into the little hopper. It knows whether you put like 10 or 12 or 15, and it just tells you how many are in there. Okay. 6.25U stabilizer. I'm going to say it's committed, but it's not actually clipping in. Oh man, don't tell me after all of that working out, we're not actually going to be able to build this. Okay, there we go. There we go. That's in. That's confirmed. That's what we're going with for there. First impression of Gatex versus yellows. Gatex are nicer. Is my first impression. They're just a nicer switch all round. My feeling when everyone's saying it's cursed, but I think it's neat. Thank you, Ty. Thank you. I appreciate that, man. Everyone slagging off my Timberwolf and saying it looks weird and cursed. And yet the real true keyboard nerds know that if it's good, it's good. Sangam bottom row, but 6U spacebar. I don't want to run a 6U spacebar unless I can help it. I don't dislike 6U, but I find it hard to kit out with keycaps. And given the fact that this is such a bright color, I'm kind of not sure what set's going to live on this board permanently. So I kind of want to leave options at least a little bit open. Okay, next normal key is backspace. We need to do a backspace key. Looking at the IC for this board is funny. What the fuck? This is wacky. Yeah, right. Was this 2017 or 2018 when this came out? Like the IC, I mean. I do remember covering it on Top Clack, so it must have been... the group buy must have been after the start of 2019, because we did cover it on Top Clack. And I started on Top Clack in 2019. June 2019. That kind of makes sense. That kind of makes sense. It was just about the time I went to Seattle for the Seattle meetup. Okay, now we've done that. Now we get to put the two weird ones in. This is where things start to go messy. Yeah, it did take a while for extras. I knew as soon as I saw the extras form that I had to pick one up. It was just a no-brainer. I didn't think I'd be building it so soon though. I actually didn't plan to build this for a long time, but here we are. Just slap white on black on it, easy solution. Yeah, I guess. I don't like just using white on black. It's like a bit of a cheat, I think, because it works with so many things. Black on white on black, just make it a little bit too easy sometimes. Crafted Cables, thank you so much for the sub, man. I thoroughly appreciate that, dude. Thank you. At the airport, so just stopping by to say hi. Hope you're having a good stream. Thank you, man. I hope your flight goes okay. I hope your flight goes well. Okay, so that's the first of the weird ones. I'm just gonna top up these ones just a tiny bit. There we go. Have I tried XHT BDZ on Stabwise? Yeah, it's a little bit too thick for me. It's good, but like it's too thick and it's a little bit too expensive. I find that 205 grade 2 just works just as well, and it's significantly cheaper. Like, I think for most people it's overkill, but hey, if you guys are happy using it, that's all good. See, I remember back in the day, before lubes were in the hobby, when people used to put sponge in their stabilizers to stop them from rattling. So anything is an improvement on those days. Hootie needs some support, guys. If you like GMK Hootie, like Zizora does, it needs some support. So you need to show your support quickly, because it needs the support, guys. Dracula will always do well, and it's an amazing set. So rightly it will do really well, especially considering that it's only just sold out extras a few weeks ago. Okay, so let's figure this out. We want a J-Mickey, thank you for the tier 2 for 3 months in advance. Dude, that means so much to me. Thank you so much, man. Thank you. Oh man. Okay, so we might hit an issue here. So the issue we might hit is that the stabilizer might hit each other and not allow me to push this one into the slot. So see here, the two stabilizer housings are touching each other. Oh man, that sucks. That's really, really, really sucky. I don't know if I can get around that. But like this is on the keyboard layout editor as an option that you could do. 7. Let's just check where we're at here. So those are in the right place. But this stabilizer, the housing for it, touches that housing there. Just in that gap. That sucks. I don't think I can put them in the other way around. I think I'd have the same issue. And they wouldn't fit anyway. Oh no, that's really sucky. I could try flush cutting the back of this stabilizer housing, just see if I can trim it enough to make it fit. It's just ever so slightly. Alternatively, just don't use Xerox. I'm gonna try snipping this. I'm gonna just try clipping this. Hey Hedgie, thanks for following, man. I'm gonna try clipping the corner off this. See if this works. Okay, so I've now clipped the corner off of this. I thought it was going to shatter the whole thing, but it's actually pretty neat. Let's see if that fits now. Okay, it just fits. It just fits. Let's go with that. Let's go with that. Okay, right, time to screw these in. And then we can carry on with the rest of the build. Flawless. The base on Hootie is terrible. No, the base on Hootie is pretty solid, I think. It's a pretty solid base. Like if it had any more keys in it, it'd be stupidly expensive. So you have to balance keycap layout across a few different things. Like kitting is really difficult because cost drives up exponentially, and if it hits a certain price point, it won't sell. So you have to make some compromises on kitting, and I think Hootie does a fairly good job of that. There's always arguments for different considerations, but I think with all of the different compromises, I think it's pretty fair. Title: there are more sets in EPBT now than ever before. J-Shuff, thank you so much for being here, man, and thank you for the bits. Flush cut bits. Thank you so much, dude. Thank you. I really appreciate that. Which reminds me, I think your... Oh, that reminds me, J-Shuff. Your FR4 plate for your JO1 might have gone out because Mel packed them the other day, and I have some other stuff where if it's on its way, I'll make sure the other stuff gets shipped out to you tomorrow. If it hasn't already left, because there is a few packages that haven't left yet, I'll make sure your other bits are included in that. Either way, I'll make sure you get what you need. There is a lot of EPBT sets running. Still not enough, says Tidal. Level 1 hype train running. Thanks, guys. Choo choo. Affordable international kits are always good. I think if you can't have UK ISO in base, and international kits, always a must buy for me. I remember 4 years ago there was very few, and there's definitely more now, but even sets you can dice up just running GMK. Yeah, I think we're seeing a lot more EPBT sets run as the GMK queue gets longer. I think that's definitely a trend that we're seeing. No one wants to wait 2 years for some bits of plastic, so I can completely understand it. I have stocked and will be stocking KTT switches, Scoop Daddy. Yeah, we had KTT grapefruits in the store for about a month until they sold out. Strawberries, grapefruits, sea salt, and some other switches are on the way. Yeah. International kits are expensive, but they're worthwhile supporting. If people don't support international kits, they'll stop getting made, and then everybody loses out, right? So it's one of those things you have to consider. Right, okay. So this is going to be a really slow build, because one thing I noticed before is that these switches, oh, actually they're holding in now. So these switches on the bottom row, they didn't want to hold in before, but they're actually holding in okay. So we can just drop the switches in, and then we can flip it and solder it. I think some of them will likely pop out, but we'll see. We'll see. Like, some of these are not holding pretty tightly. But we should be okay. I don't want to go switch at a time, because that just takes forever, and it's never fun. But like, if 10% of the switches drop out, we can fix that. Had to move to ANSI to afford this hobby. I think that's a little bit of a cop out. Like, I managed to have loads of keyboards built in ISO in this hobby, so I don't know. I have accepted that I won't always get UK ISO though. So if that's a compromise you're not willing to make, then yeah, I guess ANSI is the next step. Have a J on the way, but the question is to build with lavenders or Gateron X's. I'd say Gateron X. I genuinely, I think, ask me again at the end of the stream, but right now my money would be on Gateron X. I think you'd only pick lavenders if you wanted the lavender sound profile. You always buy the international kit for your homies? Thanks, Ty, thanks. I know you don't use ISO. I think some of these switches are going to fall out. It's the second I turn this PCB over, some of these switches are going to fall out. Oh, we need to work out what we're doing with the top row as well, because that's a mess. Look at this. This is a real mess. Look at that top row. We're going to go stepped caps, because stepped caps is best. And I think I'm just going to finish filling off this row, and then I'm going to flip it over and solder these switches in first. I think we're just going to go with these switches first, and then once we've done these switches, we'll do the rest. But I think some of these are going to fall out. I feel like some of them are going to fall out. So we're going to have to do these one switch at a time. Right, quite a few fell out, so we'll do what we can. We'll do what we can with this, guys. It's going to be a slow build, though. Killerack 909. Hi, thanks very much for joining. Talk about as much as mess as life. Yeah, right. I don't know where to start here, because like soldering this is gonna be a real pain. Like, I can already tell. Just trying to get these done relatively quickly, because if I move it wrong, there's more switches going to drop out of the bottom, and I don't really want that to happen. seems like the holes in the PCB for the pins on the switch are fine, but the ones that hold the 3 prongs, the legs, the actual 5-pin part of a 5-pin switch, they're just not particularly tight, and with no plate, that's just making it really difficult when we turn the PCB and plate over, because nothing's holding. It's not really a friction fit, it's like barely a fit at all. Now there is some tips we can do, which I'll show you guys in a second, to help us get around that for some of the other ones. But we'll try and do as many as we can the traditional way, because it is a little bit easier. I have definitely built easier keyboards than this. Like it's frustrating that the switches won't hold in the PCB. Like if this ever happens normally, you've got a plate there that you can use and you can just lift the assembly together. But of course, there's no plate in this build, so there's nothing to hold in place for that. I think that's all the switches that we got. Okay. Let's try putting the rest of the switches in and seeing how we get on with those. I hope the Equinox XL has a nice PCB to hold the switches. It'll be my first playlist. I'll be honest, it's rare it's like this. Like most PCBs are pretty good when it comes to holding switches in place. I know these ones are likely to fall out again, but we'll give them a try. Give them a second go around. You can use like a piece of cardboard and flip it over. I don't have one to hand, otherwise I would do that. It doesn't feel like these are being held in particularly solidly. But we'll get there. We'll get there. I might see if I have a piece of cardboard to hand that I can use in a second, just to make it a little bit easier. Let's get the switches in and then I'll find some cardboard. You can use the ! keyboard command, Ben, and it will tell you all you need to know about that keyboard. The shop is not clean at all at the minute, this is alright. It's absolutely filthy. And it's the first thing that Mel and I are going to tackle tomorrow morning. So, yeah, we need to get the workshop back. I don't like a messy workshop. I detest it. We're actually looking at having a cleaning service come in. Just because it's difficult to keep on top of the actual cleaning. Wait, why is this not going in? Okay, interestingly, the pin for a 5-pin switch for the split left shift is in the wrong place. So we're going to have to trim the switch and take off one of the legs. which is luckily an easy thing to do. But it does worry me that we won't get that switch level. Okay. The typing experience on the Heine, it's really nice. It's a lovely board. Like, it's genuinely really nice. The scuff of this board just fits its energy. I get that. I get that. Yeah, you can't double shot PBT, Mickey. Well, I say that, and I'm saying it somewhat flippantly, but it's very difficult to. So, if you see double shot PBT keycaps on the market, 99.9% of the time they're not double shot PBT. They're PBT keycaps with a shot of POM or some other type of plastic for the actual legend. It's very, very rare that it's actually true double shot PBT. The only ones I know of are Leopold. That actually do true double shot PBT, but it's all about tooling as well. So if you have tooling that's designed for one type of plastic, you can't run another plastic in it. You'd have to create all new tooling for that. Like injection molding is a difficult process, and it's designed. The molds are designed around a particular material, and you can't just change that material. It doesn't work like that, unfortunately. Bias V2 raffle in a couple of days. Yeah, I'm hopeful I can get one of those. I am interested in getting a bias. That's a bit of pen. Oh, easier to not use that right now. Okay. Yeah, so the tooling that GMK has couldn't do PBT in the first place, and even if it could, it would likely only be single shot and die subbed. It wouldn't be double shot. Right, I'm guessing here, but I'm pretty sure that's where that goes. We've got 3 and then a small gap, and then 3. Sorry, then 4, and then a small gap, and then 4 again. Soon find out if this is right or wrong. And then we've got the same small gap, and then we've got 4 again. That looks wrong. That looks right. There we go. And then we've got another gap, and then we've got a single switch. There we go. And then we've got 4 down this side. I think. Oh, we could go all the way down to the bottom here. So we can go one more. One more. There we go. And then we do need to put the rotary encoder in the top corner, but we'll do that shortly. Right, let's see if we can find something that we can flip this over on. Let me find some cardboard, guys. Give me a second. Okay, so I have a % studio box. This is going to do the job. So what we're going to do is gently lift this up, and then we're going to flip it over. And then now we can solder the rest of the switches. Wow, what a job. And then once we've done the switches, we can then go back and we can do the rotary encoder afterwards. You get a guaranteed spot for being a Finn. Nice. Okay. Let's finish the soldering. I import my solder from America. I buy it from an American stockist, and I use Kester solder. I tend to buy it by the kilogram because I use a lot of solder. Okay. There's some switches that just don't look straight to me, so I'm not going to solder them just at the minute. Oh, actually, if I put some pressure down, they look okay. Man, this is a frustrating build. I apologize, guys, because this is not the usual speed I solder at. It's 60/40, yeah. That mic is sensitive, could hear that. What could you hear, sorry? I get some Kester solder recently from DigiKey US import, but it was pretty damn expensive. It is expensive, but it's the best solder I've found, and I swear by it now. I have found cheaper places than DigiKey, but again, you have to buy it in bulk. Oh, the drinking. I apologize. It melts easier, chicken tikka. It flows easier, and it tends to make better connections as well. It lasts longer. Yeah, like just good quality solder. It's like any good quality tool or good quality products. Like it's just marginal gains, but it's a little bit better. It's easier to work with. It's easier to desolder. It's easier to resolder. Okay. Okay, making some progress now. I feel a little bit better about this. Go. Real men solder lead free. Yeah, I don't mind using lead free solder. I have used it a few times. I just vastly prefer leaded solder if I'm going to use any. Like if I have the choice, and luckily I do, I'm going to pick up leaded solder. I just find it much better to work with. Jay not using an extractor giving me anxiety. It's not going to hurt you, isn't solder? Like the fumes aren't that bad for you. I'm not using the iron at a temperature that's actually enough to melt the lead, so the lead atoms aren't vaporizing or anything like that. So there's no lead in the fumes. It's just a little bit of roicin, and the rest of it's steam. So there's no need to use an extractor. Like if you look at the temperature that lead vaporizes at, we'd never have the soldering irons that high. A little bit of it's the resin, yeah. Royson, yep. If you want to use an extractor, I think that's great, but it's not necessary. But you don't have to. Okay, some of these switches I'm really not happy with and we're going to come back to, but we're slowly starting to get there. There's a few I just feel aren't quite pressed into the PCB, so I'm just going to tack one side in and then we'll press and heat it on the desk. We're just going to basically tack all of the rest of these switches in, not fully soldering them, and we'll come back and configure it, and we'll heat them up as we press them into the desk so they sit nice and tight. And then we'll go around and then we'll do the missing switches. So all I'm doing is just soldering in one pin, and then I'll heat the solder as I push the switch into the plate and PCB assembly, and then that will help me get a better connection. And make sure it's nice and flat and flush where it should sit, and then I'll solder the other pins. So it's going to take a little bit of time to solder this board today, but we'll be okay, and we'll get through it together. I think I've tacked in all of the switches that are just showing through, so let's see if there's any that shake loose. We'll come back to those. We don't need this anymore. So now what we've got is some switches that aren't sat quite flush in the PCB. So what we're going to do is we're going to go back and we're going to check each and every switch, and what we're going to do is we're going to push it firmly into the desk as we reheat the solder on that switch. Then we're going to solder the other pin, and then we'll come back and solder the first pin. And we're just going to go around and just make sure we do that for each switch, just to make sure we've got a good connection and that it's nicely soldered in place. So about this time, guys, if you've got any questions you'd like to ask me, now's a good time to ask away. Any question goes, any topic goes. Doesn't have to be keyboard related, but you can ask me anything you like. I should start giving out points for the best question each week or something like that. this is going to take just a little bit longer than normal to solder, just because of the design of the PCB and the fact that it's plateless. What's my favorite TKL in my collection? Probably my TKL number 2 Phantom Edition. I really, really love that board. It's beautiful. I have SA Phantom on it. It's one of the few Keycap boards that's ISO in the world. So yeah. I'd probably say that was one of my favorite TKLs. Have you done any kit cars or anything, or is that too far down the rabbit hole? I have built a Gateron with a friend before. It was a ton of fun. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I did own a Gateron kit car as well, but I never got around to building it. And I actually sold it to Startup Prototypist, where I got a bit of my seed funding from. Was by selling one of the kit cars. I think at my worst I had 11 cars. And I'm down to 9 again. Well, I went down to about 4, and then I'm back up to 9 again. So. Okay, I've got a pain of a switch here that just does not want to stay in place. There we go. Now we've got it tacked in. If you could pick one board and key set to rerun, what would it be? Oh man, I have no idea. Tell you that's an impossible question to answer. I have zero ideas what I would do from that perspective. I'd love to see GMK Royal Alpha get a third run, because I think it's one of my favorite sets. I'd also really like to see GMK Coniferous rerun, like GMK Coniferous round 2. I'd like to see that. I'd really like to see that, actually. There's some others that I would really like to mention, but I know that they're already in the works, and it's not my place to say. Oh, that will work. So what happened there is I heated up a switch and I let go of it before the solder had recooled and reformed, and then the switch dropped out. Okay, so I'm just going to go down this middle row and reseat all of the switches, making sure I'm comfortable with them, happy with them, and then we'll go and resolder them all. That's all soldered. There we go. Okay. Have I ever tried high-row switches? Yes, I've had a couple of boards built with high-row switches in the past. High-rows oranges, and I've had high-rows whites and a few other switches as well, but I think I gave most of them away to friends when I started collecting switches. I think I had a high-rows yellow at one point, if I remember rightly. Okay, so now I'm just going to resolder all of the switches that we just flashed a second ago. And then I can start to fill in the blanks, the ones that are missing. And then we can start to put the board back together. Man, this is a long build. Okay. Switch is definitely not seated correctly. That's better. There we go. Okay. So I think we've now got everything soldered nicely. We've just got a few switches missing that we need to replace. Whoa, JK, thank you so much for the 3 months of subs. Thank you very much, man. I appreciate that. He says, Pog. Thank you, dude. I appreciate every single sub that you guys send. Okay, so we've just got the ISO enter switch to do. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to plug a little bit of solder into the ISO enter switch hole. And what that's going to enable me to do is to actually push the switch into place and then capture it with the solder by melting the solder at the last second. And then as I melt the solder, the switch will slide into the hole, and then we can make sure it all lines up correctly. Okay, there we go. Do I think the Royal Clutch keyboards are good? I think they're okay. Yeah, I've looked at stocking them before, but I haven't as yet. Ganti Review says, on a whole different topic than keyboards, what do you think about genetic editing for treating diseases, CRISPR technology, etc.? So I have a little bit of knowledge on this, but not a huge amount. So my understanding of how CRISPR works is that you actually edit a phage or a virus, and then you use the virus to change the structure of the genes and the genetic code that particular virus attacks in terms of cells. So you use different viruses depending on what you're trying to attack and what you're trying to change, and then you inject code. Basically, it's a little bit like the side loading on Android. In principle, I think it's a really good idea, but it does offer some dangers. So I think we need to be really careful and make sure it's regulated in the right ways. But I think it's the future of. The future of gene editing and disease prevention is going to be in individual genomes. Like tailored medicine for people is the next step in medicine, I think. And we need to move away from just, oh, X drug does this. It's more about how much specifically of X drug does such a person need, or what specifically is going to help that person and their symptoms based on their genetic makeup and genetic code. And I think that's the next big step. Okay, we have our cursed layout all soldered together. Everything looks neat and even. Nothing looks out of place. Everything looks good. All the switches are seated correctly. None are sitting too high or too proud. So yeah, I think we're good to put the board together now. There we go. Yeah, I still get keyboard FOMO, Slim. I missed out on Cloudline. I hosted Cloudline on my website, and I wasn't quick enough to buy one, and they were all sold out by the time I got around to it. So, yeah, I have FOMO. Oh my god, thank you for selling me the Zaku's. Welcome, man. Did you ever try build with banana split splitches? Not personally yet, no, but I will be shipping out all of the banana split group by next week, and then I'll have them in stock by the end of next week. With the right side, so what we did, Andromeda, is we had to trim one of our stabilizer housings. So we had to get flush cutters out and trim the stabilizer housing. But now we have this as the right hand side. 2 vertical 2 U keys, which I don't even know what we're going to cover. I don't even know what's going to cover it properly. But this is pretty much how we're going to look. We've got one more switch to solder out mist just in this top corner, and then the rotary encoder. No, we haven't soldered them yet. We're going to do them now. Last switch and rotary encoder coming this way. Yeah, numpad enter and plus probably is what we're going to have to use. I can't think of anything else we will be able to use that. Rotary encoder, right. Which way round do we need to go? Okay, so this is actually offset. This doesn't sit square. This actually sits at an angle. Interesting. Okay, rotary encoder is in. For this last switch, I'm just going to have to put a little bit of solder in the hole. And then push the switch into place. Just like we did on the other one. Just like that. I'm going to solder that pin in place. Make sure that's perfect. We're going to add some solder to the other side. And then we'll quickly solder the rotary encoder into place. There we go. I'm just going to tag the pin on this side. And then tag the pin on this side. And there we go. That is soldering done. 100% completed. Yeah, I've got 2 Prism Mark 3s. I also have another couple of 3D printers as well. Mark 3S. Forgetting your finger touches metal. Yeah, you need to be careful, but there we go. Fully soldered, guys. Time to put it into the board and into the case. If you guys are interested in what I'm printing, we're printing a couple of different things at the minute. So we're printing some 3D printed switch openers. If you buy switches through the store, I give these away for free. And effectively it just allows you to open up a switch. And in the other one, I'm actually 3D printing this is the second time I've printed this, but it's effectively a case that holds the TS100 soldering iron in and a few other bits. I printed one for Anarchy and I'm going to send it to him in the next couple of days, and I was so impressed with it I'm going to print one for myself. So there we go. Well, I am printing one for myself. It's printing now. Right, okay, so now it's time to put the case together. Where did we put the gubbins that go in here? So this is all of the gaskets that we need to use. Now, there are these countersunk metal gaskets that sit on top of a rubber gasket. Like so. And then the screw goes through here. This sits on one side of the PCB. And then on the other side of the PCB, you have another gasket. So we're just going to pop all of those into place first. Just going to pop the gaskets all into place. We're just putting one in each circular groove cut into the case. There we go, one more. And then we're going to lay the PCB and plate assembly in here. We're going to make sure that that's going to fit nicely. It is. So then what we're going to do is we're going to get the right screwdriver for this, which I think is going to be this one. Nope, this one. Yes. And then while we've got the screw on the end of the screwdriver, we're going to put the countersunk head and then the gasket on top. what I'm going to do is I'm just going to screw one of these into the board. If I can pick it up just right. But I'm not going to screw that down tightly. I'm just going to make sure it's holding in place. And then I'm going to do the same again. I'm going to go in the opposite corner. We're going to go diametrically opposed. And we're going to do the same in the other order. And then, now that's in position, we're going to lift up the case. And we're just going to gently screw that in. And then now we're going to do the other two corners. And then from there, we should be able to screw the rest of the board in nice and evenly. Okay. You want one for your TS100? Yeah, well, if you want one, email me, I'll print you one. I don't mind doing that. Okay, so that's how it's going to mount. See, we've got all of the hardware in there. We're just going to do the rest of the screws now. I'm going to go for the center ones first, just to make sure we're spreading the load evenly across the plate and PCB assembly. And we've missed the light pipes, so we need to undo this because we've missed the light pipe. Which is frustrating. Oh well, at least we've practiced that now. We know that that works. We can put the light pipe in and then we can come back. Let's take the positive. We've tested it. We know it's going to work. We just need to tweak one last little bit, which is the light pipe, which I believe is this. Now, how does this go in? Oh, I see. It just sits on top of the, like so. Just that bit there. It's really difficult to see, but it is there. Like a little tower. That's the light pipe. Doesn't seem to want to sit into the housing very well. There it is. There it goes. Do the same thing again as before. Straight into the corners. Tio Teclados, thank you so much for the raid. Welcome, guys. We're building a Timberwolf today. It's a little bit fiddly, but we're getting there. Thank you very much for being here. Huey says, howdy, I forgot how wild this board is. It's very true. It is super wild. Wait till you see the layout I've got on this. It's interesting to say the least. Hey guys, welcome to the stream. Thanks very much for being here, guys. Really appreciate the raid. Thank you so much, Tio. I hope your stream went well. I'm gonna guess Spanish? Mexican? I don't know. I'm sorry if I don't know you. But thank you very much for being here. I appreciate it. Chile. Nice. Nice. Keyboard streamers from Chile. Nice. Spanish from Chile. There you go. That's a great combination. Well, thank you very much for being here. And thank you so much for the raid, man. I really, really appreciate it. We're currently in the process of building a Timberwolf. And you guys are going to laugh when you see the layout once we put these screws in place. We're almost done with the build, and chat gets to pick the key set we use on this in just a minute's time. So stick around if you want to help me pick a key set for this lovely bright purple board. Jayshuf, thank you so much for the 5 tier 1 gift subs, dude. Thank you so much, dude. That makes a ton of... that makes me so happy. That makes me so happy, man. Thank you so much. I do not deserve that, but thank you, man. I really, really appreciate that. Yeah, the screws are kind of weird because they sit into these little... they're almost like a metal spacer, but they're countersunk spacers, so they're pretty interesting. And then the actual mount for the board is top mount PCB mount that happens to have a Bergen mount as part of that. So it's top Bergen PCB mount. There you go, top Bergen PCB mount. But thank you so much, Jayshuff, for the 5 tier 1 gift subs, dude. That means so much to me. Thank you so much, man. I really appreciate it. Okay, there we go. It's all screwed together. It's all soldered together. And this is the layout we've got. Let's now put the base of the case back together. And then we can screw the whole board together. Tongue twister, yeah. Top PCB mount. That just so happens to be Bergen mount as well. Andromeda, thank you so much for the gift subs as well. Another 5 tier 1 gift subs. Thank you so much, guys. I genuinely can't tell you how much that blows me away. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much. Thank you. Okay. Now we can fasten the case together. Now I do remember I dropped a screw on the floor for this, so we are going to be 1 screw short. Given the size of these screws, I'm going to make sure it's the middle front screw that we don't put in, and I will try and grab that off the floor later on as well. But thank you so much, guys, for the subs. I really, really appreciate that. Okay. We already put a screw in there, maybe. Right, let's screw this down now. And again, we're going to go diametrically opposed just to make sure that we've got everything nice and even. There we go. Case is all screwed together apart from the 1 screw I dropped. I'll fix that later on. Shouldn't affect the board or anything like that, so we should be good. Let's pop those in there. Get rid of that bag. Get rid of that bag. That goes in our stabilizer tub. Get rid of the PCB bag. There we go. This is a Timberwolf. You might notice that we have 2 stabilized keys here. We're building it with ISO layout. It's got macro keys everywhere. It's pretty interesting. But now you guys get to help me pick some keycaps for this board. So I have a few different choices for you. Let me get up a poll. First choice is GMK Future Funk. That's your first choice. And I would say I'll have the poll up in a second, guys. I do have a couple of the child kits for Future Funk as well. If you pick that one, you can choose from those. I have GMK Taro. I also have, and I don't know if this has got the compatibility needed. I don't think it does. So maybe don't pick this one, guys. OG double shots with Swiss ISO. These are quite yellowed. Sorry, Swiss double shots, not Swiss ISO subs. And then finally, the last one I have, which I think might be my pick for this, is GMK Black Lotus. So I haven't managed to put this in a tub yet. That's the final set I have for you today. Let's start the poll, and you guys can pick which one you'd like to see on this board. Let's see how you guys vote. But I think that Black Lotus is going to win this. That's my prediction. Black Lotus is going to win. Let's see how we get on. But I think that Black Lotus is going to win this. No Handabyte this week. Don't want to risk the meme. I don't know where Handabyte's gone. I do have the set, but I don't know where it's gone. One of the interesting things on this board is the light pipe actually sounds proud. I don't like that. The light pipe should say flush with the board, but it actually stands proud. I'll show you that in a minute. Yeah, Chaos Theory would work really well, but it's in group buy. Don't have it to hand yet, but maybe at some point it'll go well on the board. Mel secretly loves it and stole it. No, so what we did is when Anarchy came around the other day, we moved all of my personal collection from the workshop into the office, and now there is no room in the office, so I'm not really sure where anything is, but we'll figure it out. Has to be Chocolatier with that case color. We could do Chocolatier, but there's 4 to pick from, so you guys show me what you want to see. Do you want to see GMK Future Funk, GMK Taro, OG Swiss double shots, which would normally be my choice, and I got those when I was thinking of the board that I was going to build today, which is a TKL. They would have been perfect for it. Or GMK Black Lotus. Those are the ones that you get to choose. You'll know that feeling Q4 of 2022. It sounds such a long time away, but I guarantee it's not. It'll come really quickly. The Chaos Legends look really good. Yeah, Chaos Theory is really, really cool. I think it finishes tomorrow. So if you guys want to join, you have to join today. Like within the next few hours, you have to join. So don't miss Chaos Theory if you like it, because it would work really well on this board. While we're just waiting for that to come through, I'm just gonna install the rotary encoder. If I can pick the correct tool. And there we go. The rotary encoder is installed. And I'll show you that when we've picked the keycaps. Next, you'll say 2022 is next year. Yeah, I mean, pretty much. It's pretty much this year, right? Oh, that didn't even tighten up. Let's see if we can't tighten that up a little bit more. That's not gripping on as it should be. There we go. That's now fixed. Yeah, but 2022 is not too far away. Right, looks like GMK Taro has overtaken Black Lotus. Don't make me vote, guys. Because, well, I'm going to vote. I've added my vote. My vote goes for Black Lotus. Like, anyone who doesn't pick Black Lotus. Bad times. Bad times. Yeah, more votes for Black Lotus, please. What an interesting right cluster. Yeah, the right cluster is super duper interesting. We've got a 2U vertical key here and a 2U vertical key here just because we can. But also the light pipe that's for the LED is also proud of the case. Like, that's actually tangible above the case. It's not flush, which I'm a little bit frustrated with. You spent all your channel points on Taro? No! OG double shots or bust. The OG double shots won't work on this layout, so they're definitely discounted. But they would have worked on the board I was going to build today until I realised I was still missing a part from it. So the designer's going to get that over to me soon. Pusher's here as well. He says, just go for Black Lotus. You know you want to. Also, hi. Hey, Pusher. Good to see you, man. I did the same for Black Lotus. Black Lotus is like trailing behind. Guys, there's like 30 seconds left. Someone needs to make Black Lotus win. Sad times, it changed a lot at the end. Guys, what's going on here? What's going on? What are you guys doing? What are you guys doing? Look, 61 to 58. There's like 10 seconds left. Oh, Black Lotus has taken the lead. Taking the lead significantly. There we go. There we go. There we go. Campbell all. GMK Black Lotus did win. Congratulations, guys. You made the right decision. You made the right decision. You figured out how to vote? Nice. Nice. I call shenanigans. Hey, I didn't touch anything. Let's see what happened. Let's see what happened. Draxter did contribute 6,000 channel points, and Andromeda contributed some as well. Yeah, so Draxter, Trade Splatter, Matt 127D, Telvin, Gan, AZ, Zizora, Woody. You guys all spent a ton of channel points to get Black Lotus to win. GMK Taro, Static Age, Humza, Andromeda, Ciantha, Dastardly Duchess, and Kordos all tried to get GMK Taro to win. But there we go. Andromeda dropped bits as well. Thank you very much for the bits. I appreciate those. Yeah, so there we go. That was the breakdown. No one submitted channel points for Future Funk, and no one submitted channel points for OG Swish Double Shots. So there we go. There we go. We are going to use Black Lotus today, which is good. Poncho Fredo, thank you very much for the tier 1 sub. I really appreciate that, man. Thank you so much. Okay, I'm going to zoom in a little bit so you guys can see as I put the keycaps on the board. There we go. Okay. Oh, the purple's a pretty good match. Relaxing before your GCSE mocks tomorrow. What mock exams have you got, dude? My GCSEs seem like a long time ago now. 2000 I sat my GCSEs. 20 years ago. Wow. Here we go. I think this is going to look really well. It's actually kind of a shame that this isn't just like all one black and like monochrome color scheme, because I think that would work really, really well. And yes, I know there was that pack for it, I just don't have it. Math, science, music theory, and English language tomorrow. That's a big combination, dude. That's a big combination. Okay, so there's no full UCARIS on this one. I couldn't remember if there was or not, but there isn't. Trojams, 1990 for me. So you're 10 years older than I am. That's good to know. I'm not the oldest person on the stream right now. That's good to know. I'm going to leave off the novelties, I think, for this build. I quite like some of the Black Lotus novelties, but I'm going to leave those off just because there's so much going on with the layout of this board that I think it'll detract from the board itself. So let's not put any novelties on here. Yeah, if anyone's got any exams tomorrow, good luck. You looked out and didn't have to do your GCSEs? How did that work? Well, if someone's 10 years older than me, Static Age, and did their GCSEs in 1990, then they're 47 this year. So good to know that someone's a fair chunk older than me. But yeah, I'm not quite 40 yet. Although I'm not too far away from it. Oh, COVID year. I see. I got you. Yeah. Makes sense. This looks way better than in the photos online. Thanks, man. Thanks. You'll be 14 Feb. Yeah, I'll turn 37 in Feb. Sorry, March. Sorry, not February. In March next year. The 27th of March is when my birthday is. 27th of March. Pusher's not too far behind me, I know that. Oh, 35 he says. Yeah, I knew you weren't too far behind Pusher. Hey, March. Yeah, 27th of March. Okay, this layout is so cursed. Like, it's unbelievably cursed. Like, there's some keys on here that I don't even know what I'm going to use on it. Where's step capsule? There it is. Like, there's just some keys I have no idea what keycap I'm going to use on it. I just don't know. I mean, we'll figure it out, but like right now, I just don't know. It's so cursed. Like, look at this. 1.25, 1.25, 1.25, 6.25, 1.51, 1.5. Some of these switches are going to need just slightly tweaking as well. I can already tell they're just going to need slightly tweaking, just because of the way we had to solder them. I'm going to go for the accent arrows, just a lighter shade of pink or purple here. Okay. Let's go with it. Just having to think about what I'm putting where here. This is really complex to put together. Let's go for just keep the accent arrows. J-Shift was sitting there waiting to jump in at 53. I see you, I see you. Trojam started his GCSEs in 89, nice. 2 exams a day. I think if it's mocks, they can do more. Fingers crossed not a third birthday in lockdown for us. Yeah, hopefully. Indigo Healing Art says, I'm 58, I win. Nice, congratulations. Will there be another JO2 run? Yes, soon, very soon. Keep an eye on the Discord. You can join below. This looks sick already. It does look good actually, right? I do know that these two keys here and the super key here, they just slightly need tweaking, so I'm going to have to desolder it at some point. I thought we split for FN. We did, but I used FN here. I suppose I can fix that. Okay. Let's fix that, because you're right. I did say we'd split it for FN, so I should really keep my promises. There you go. I think I'm a little bit nervous about what we use over here. So, right, okay. So now we've done that. Let's work out what's going to go in this column. I feel like we should have the standard 65% stuff here. Normally I'd use F keys, but well, I don't have any F keys. So let's see if we can Let's see if we can do like a page up. Page, is that the right page down? I think it is. Yeah, that's the right sculpt. Page down. And oh, there's a cool read key. I like that. Which fits. No, it doesn't fit there. Jay, come on. You know where this key goes. And oh man, I don't want to put another control here. We could put another super key, but that feels a bit, I don't know, that feels a bit weird. Let's put another super key in there. It does feel weird, but let's go with that, and let's go with alt above it. There's nothing else we can put in there, right? No. Okay. So at least these are all profile correct. Up and down arrows. Up and down arrows is a great shout. Yes, let's do up and down arrows. Yes, I like that. Why didn't I think of that? Up and down arrows is a perfect shout. Big props for up and down arrows. Right. Okay. Now the weird stuff. We could do the standard TKL keys up here, so we could do print screen, scroll lock and pause. That makes sense. And then we could do insert and home on the next, because again, that makes sense. And then we get to the difficult bit, because we've got to use two vertical keys here, which means we're going to have to use the plus and the enter. So I'm going to put the enter down lower just because of the way the sculpting works. And then we've got the 2U for the plus. Oh man, this is so fucking cursed. Excuse my French, I don't usually swear, but man, this is cursed. And then I need one more 1U key. And there's a cool key here that's got out on it, so let's go with that. Okay, this has to be the most cursed layout I've ever put together on a board. Insert home out plus an enter. Page up, page down, read, and up and down. Two enters on one board. There's only two enters. I didn't even know you could swear. Yeah, I can swear. Use both numpad enters. Oh, you want me to use both numpad enters? I mean, that's going to be weird as hell. That's going to even be more weird. I'm not sure I like the idea of this. Which one should we do? If you're using both numpad enters, which one should be the accent one? That one? Or that one? That one, the one on the outside. It makes more sense, right? Use both numpad enters. This is so cursed. This is so cursed. Come on, there we go. There we go. So now we've got 3 enters. There we go. Johnny Boy Texas. This looks sick. This looks sick. Blue Toggers is having a fit at this layout. A full size has 2 enters too. Yeah, I guess, but not 3. Black Lotus was old enough to have the cursed UKI, so it's like semi UKI, so yeah. Andromeda says, this is so cursed, I think I love it. I want this. like the key set works really well with the board. Like it looks really good, but it is cursed as hell. Look at it. It's cursed as hell. I'm pretty happy with how that's come out though. Look at this. Look at the enters. Just so weird. The switches feel really good though. The switches feel super good. I have no idea how this board's going to sound because I can't hear it with my headphones on. But the switches feel super good. The triple tap enter. Pow, pow, pow. Oh, like we could do like a triple tap enter. Like the board is B stock, but it looks alright. Like there is a couple of scratches on it. This is just how it came. Like this big scratch along the back is the worst. I think personally I'd class this as C stock, but I couldn't not buy this board. This super key's slightly twisted. I need to fix that. I think the stabilizer here needs slightly twisting as well, so we'll fix those later on. But C stock standing for cursed. Yeah, it's the Timberwolf cursed edition, right? How loving how quirky it is, and then call it cursed, dude. Huey, I want you to legitimately tell me in chat that you think that this keyboard is not cursed in terms of its layout choices. I want you to actively, honestly tell me that. And if you can type that out, I'll retract the cursed statement. But if you can't honestly tell me that, the cursed statement stays. Yeah, okay, yeah. So don't call me out for calling it cursed. C is for character, not for cursed. Dude, this is definitely cursed. It's cool though, it's cool. No, it's 6.25 U. You'd buy this in a heartbeat. You can. I tell you what, JQ, you can have this for 1,000 British pounds. I will sell it to you for 1,000 British pounds. There we go. With the one using the right cluster, it's not that bad, but with the 2 U's, it becomes weird as hell. Yeah, I agree. It's just so quirky and weird. But like, because it has the 2U option there, I couldn't build it any other way. I had to put the 2U's in there, right? Layout looks perfectly normal. Yeah, maybe. There was even more cursed layout. There was a couple more cursed layouts. Yeah, I couldn't pick the layout. I just got it. You can trade it for honey. That's a lot of honey. I think the knob is the worst design decision. Like, I've seen good knobs and I've seen bad knobs. This one's on the wrong side for a start off. I want a knob up here, and I like to be able to side scroll with them. This one's not really conducive to that. I think if I'm gonna have a knob on a board going forwards, it's gonna be like the Delta 65's knob, just sat in the corner. That's perfect for me. How's the Gateron X switches out? Dude, they feel so good. There's a joke in there. Yeah, I'm not going there. You guys can go with the jokes, but I'm not going there. You'd miskick the knob? Don't kick it. You'll hurt the poor keyboard. Phrasing. Yeah, right. Okay, let's give this a listen and see how it sounds. Because I've got to be honest, I'm stoked with these switches. The switches feel really, really, really good. Let's see how it sounds. That sounds great. That sounds so good. Okay, so 3 things I want to talk about here. Firstly, the Gateron X switches. These feel amazing. So my felt okay. So where I was before the stream last week was I really liked the feeling of the stock Gateron switches, the Gateron X switches, and I figured at the time that if I lubed them, I'd really like them. And there's a huge difference between the switches once you lube. These switches are a modder's dream. Like, if you want to modify switches, I think these are probably the best switch on the market to mod. Like, they're just such a good base that you can build off. They're the best switches on the market for modding, right? If you want something that you don't have to mod, I think CJs are probably pretty good. Inks are pretty good. Sure, whatever. I think if you want a different sound profile to a milky top switch, then you need to look at either inks or lavenders. That's where I'm at right now. I think lubing has transformed these switches from a good stock switch to something that's actually really, really good. I want to play around with different options for like different lubes. I want to play around with filming them and see how that goes. That's the first thing I want to say. The second thing I want to say is this board feels really nice. As a plateless build, I wasn't expecting to enjoy it too much because I don't like too much flexibility. But the fact that it's got quite a few mount points, it actually feels pretty consistent across the whole board. The whole typing feel is kind of nice. It's not too stiff, it's not too flexible. It feels really, really good, and it actually feels really, really similar, if you guys have tried it, to the Jur J80 or the A06, whichever version of those boards you've managed to try. That's what it feels like. It feels like those Jur boards because they're really, really good. They're more of a more of a TKL with the old cherry styling. That's how this board feels. It's really good. How does this board sound? I think the switches sound great. I think the case just feels a little bit too thick in places for sound to travel quickly. I think if it was me doing this, I'd put some sort of acoustic cavity inside and I'd try and adjust the sound a little bit. But I think I'd give it solid marks for it. It sounds pretty good. And I think 90% of that is due to the switches. If you had a plate in this board, it would absolutely ruin the feel and sound of it, I think. So there we go. That's where I feel. I think these switches are quite possibly the best switch on the market right now, if you want to mod. If you don't want to mod, I don't think they're for you, but if you want to mod your switches, these are phenomenal. I'm really impressed with these springs as well. So I haven't used these springs before, and these are symmetrical 69-gram springs from Kinetic Labs, and they just feel great. Like, they feel really good. I actually like the feel of them. They're a little bit unusual for a linear, but yeah, I really like them. Pretty happy with them. Board looks great. Black Lotus was the correct choice, chat. Well done. Feels like it's lacking something? No, I don't think so. You're not sure how you feel about plate stand? I don't think it's for everyone, but the switches are really good. You were trying to play it at 1.5 times? Dude. So under only a single leg, then go through each switch and reflow them to see them in the PCB properly. Correct. That's what I'm going to have to do to just correct some of the misalignments. It's what I should have done first because I knew they weren't staying in, but it was a long process to solder them like that, and I wouldn't want to solder on stream like that. But it's dead easy to fix now, yeah. Gateron X switches are a nylon bottom housing. Yeah, if you read on the website, if you go to prototypist.net, click in stock switches, you'll be able to see them there. You'll be able to see all the specs there. Gateron hippos are amazing, my JR1. Oh, nice, Tomasi. Glad you have a JR1. Thank you so much for sharing that. Just finished my mode 80 with the POM plate I got from you. Got tangents in it and I'm really liking it. Thanks, man. Thanks. Yeah, if you guys want POM plates, we cut them to order. Provide me a file. I'll charge you a little bit of money. Not expensive. And I'll cut you a plate out of POM. Dead simple. And the real question is, will you keep this on the desk or use it for a while? Or is it just going to be built and going into storage? It's a difficult one to answer because, like, I don't put keyboards into storage just because I dislike them or anything else. They tend to go into storage because I'm using something that I really enjoy using. The Heine TKL1 has been amazing for me. The what else have I really enjoyed? The FLX Virgo is amazing for me. Obviously, I like the JO1s and the JO2s. I use those at home all the time. I've been testing out the Mountain a little bit, and I'm struggling with the tilted. I'm struggling with a tented ergo. So it's got tilt, and it's got tent, and it's ergo. I'm really struggling with that, so I'm not sure the mountain is for me. But I don't put boards into storage just because I don't like them. It's because I don't have time to think about what I'm using a lot of the time. Like, I'm here from 7 in the morning till 11 at night most days. I don't really have time to think about what keyboard I'm using. I just have to have something there that's going to perform the job, and that's really frustrating at times because I'd like to have a little bit more time to be able to play around with them. So me putting a board into storage isn't necessarily a sign of that I dislike it. It's a sign of that I want to come back to it. If I really dislike something, it usually goes back into the rebuild queue. And if it goes back into the rebuild queue, I'll change the switches and try and do something with it. If it goes into the rebuild queue more than twice, then that's when I usually put them on the chopping block. So there we go. Are you able to make plates for the K? So you need to submit the plate file. I can't create or do anything with the plate files. That's not how the service works. You need to submit the plate file. If you have the plate file, you can check out, if you look on the website, it's literally on the front page. There's a whole form that you can fill out on there. You fill out the form, you provide a link to the file you want me to use, and then I will then create it based off of your file. It's like Laser Boost or anywhere else. You have to give me the file to use. It's as simple as that. You need a new MX Black alternative. Gateron X. What are the differences between the regular Gateron stem and the Pro stem? So this actually is different to the Pro stem as well in the fact that it's polished. So the stem and the base of the housings are polished on these, so it's not the same as the Pro stem. Please don't mistake it for that just because of the color or anything else. These are polished stems, so they're very, very different. How much was this B stock? I can tell you. Let me have a look. Let me have a look. I paid $492.13, including postage for the board, and then I paid import fees of £121. So it's cost me about £480, which is about $550. Oh, no, more than that, $600. It's cost me $600, but it's about a $500 keyboard if in the US. It's a little bit more for me because I have to pay import fees and duties. So yeah, it's a $500 to $600 board for B stock. Yeah, you need to be able to provide the files, Snoopy. I think the Alipay was going to be my choice, but I still have a bit of time to decide. Maybe just pick up a couple of actions, do some trial and error. That's fair, yeah. These stems differ from the traditional Gateron yellows and are from the Gateron Pro lineup. They are, but they're also polished, which aren't part of the normal Gateron Pro lineup. So whilst the stems are taken from that lineup, they're still very different to the Gateron Pro stems because these are polished on the sides, on the rails. The mode support was really good when I wanted gaskets afterwards, and they accepted $35 shipping and postage to me. Nice, that's great, that's great. First time seeing this layout, whoa. Yeah, this thing's kind of nuts. Look at that, 3 enter keys in quick succession. Whatever I want it to serve. More enter, like, I don't know. Like, we can have it do anything. It's QMK compatible. We can make it do anything you want. Like, why not have 3 enter keys? What if I miss? What if I miss this key, and then I miss this, and then I hit here? Then we're good. What if I'm so far over that I hit here? We're still good. We're still good. We don't miss it. We don't miss enter. More enter. Add an ISO pad. Like this at the side. So we could go something like that. Just put it at the side. Set to F5 for in the stock group buys. Dude, the JO1 sold out so quick the other day. I was really shocked by it. All the enters, right? All the enters. All the enters. Right, guys. Okay, we're at the end of the stream now. I have built the board. I'm really happy with it. I think if you haven't tried them, you should try Gateron X switches because they're really good. If you want something that that doesn't need modifying, go for the Gateron CJs. That's my kind of take if you want a linear at the minute. Timberwolf is good. It's interesting. It's quirky. I'll try and use it for a little bit and see how I get on. I don't know what I'm going to code into these right-hand macro columns. I'm really not sure. But now it's time for us to find someone to raid. Let's see who's live. Let's see who's live that we can raid. Who's live in Makers and Crafting right now? Unreal Keyboards is live. We've raided them before. Who else is live in Keyboards? Is anyone else live in Keyboards? I don't see any of the keyboards live. How is there no keyboarders live? Like what? What? Is there really only me and Unreal Keyboards live right now? An entire full-size keyboard for only enter. Yeah, that would be a killer layout for like New World. I haven't played it yet, but I do mean to. Yeah. Did you try Type 65 top mount? Thoughts compared to guest mount? I actually prefer it top mount. I did try it. I prefer it top mount, and I think it's a really good keyboard. Right. Okay. Well, let's raid Unreal Keyboards then. Let me just drop him a quick follow. Oh, I'm already following him. Right, cool. I thought I had already raided him before. Let's raid Unreal Keyboards. Okay. I just want you guys to tell him that you hope he's really good. Hope he's having a great day. It looks like he's doing something with Topra. I'm not really sure what he's doing. But let's wish him well and hope he's having a really great day, guys. Thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it. Check out on the Discord below. Check out the website below. Buy something from the store if you'd like. Buy some Gateron X switches or CJs, whatever. I'll be back again soon. I'm hoping to stream during the week, do a workshop stream. No promises, but I'll try and get it done because it'd be cool. But I'll see you again soon, guys. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you again later. Bye-bye.